Welcome to Quantum Coffee. I'm Dr. Nicole.
I'm Reverend Stefani.
And today we're talking about the good girl contract. So it's not in the context in which you may think. So just, put that aside for a hot second.
Yeah.
So what the good girl contract actually implies, not the dirty version, is we're talking about how women are conditioned to bring themselves down, quiet their voices, and be more agreeable in order to fit into society as a whole. So with that,
Take it away. We go diving right into my personal stories, which this one carries all of this conditioning. It really talks about how I became a people pleaser, how I became small, right? Okay. How I shrunk myself. There were, when I think back, it came in all areas. It came in religion. It came in society, just how you're supposed to behave. It did come in, believe it or not, sexual interactions, right? It came from everywhere. So these stories will be brief because there's so many. But one very real thing that was said to me around between the age of 5 and 7 was a predator who said to me, because you're a girl, you have to do what boys say. Literally was the sentence. It was emblazoned in my mind. I can remember where I was and his face saying it to me as he's standing over me in that kiddie. You remember those? Oh, I guess they still exist, but those plastic kiddie pools.
yes,
in my backyard in a plastic kiddie pool. And he was standing over me and he said that to me. The other time I experienced a very real moment, again, just carved into my memory bank. I was told my brain was evil. Okay. And this was, again, I was like 5, 6, 7 by a youth pastor. Okay. Who told me because I had thoughts that my brain was evil. And he put me in the middle of the road during Sunday school. And that's in here also.
Wow.
Yeah. And then there was an experience where I was with my family. And I think this one I've talked about before, and they still think it's cute and
oh, yes.
You roll their eyes, but I, had these big thoughts and I was made to feel insignificant and quiet.
Right. Because they laughed at him instead of just listening, accepting that you had ideas.
So shrank.
Right.
3 big moments that
at a pretty early age,
that no matter how much work I have done and transformation, they don't affect me anymore. I don't behave. I don't respond according to those feelings, but I'll never forget them. I'll never forget the experience and how my brain formed my life.
It's a pretty significant part of your initial wiring, right?
Exactly.
That it's always there.
Yeah. The programming.
So how I talked about the little girl that her voice got quieter, right? That voice got quieter.
Yeah.
But it's still there.
It's still there. I mean, I know she exists, right? But she is not in control anymore. She is not the captain of this ship anymore. She has learned that what she was taught was misdirected, was control and power and fear, and had nothing to do with how she should really live her life. But what I did do because of those things, and the majority of my life, is I became a people pleaser, which, we've talked about with the codependency at nauseum at this point. But then the other thing that I've never talked about, because I really didn't think about it until this question prompted it, which made me think about it, was the chaotic side of me that was always there. When I say always, I don't mean when I was 5, 6, 7, but I mean after that, as a result of those sentences, those things that were conditioned into me. And then the hormones hit, and then the teenage years hit, and the explosion hit, and I would just go over here and go over here. And then I became an adult. And what happened was,
so there I was,
is every time I would shrink, I would physically feel, again, because I'm such a feeling person, and it's not always cognitive feeling.
Right.
It's very physical for me. It's very energetic for me. I would physically feel trapped in my body. I would feel like things were squeezing in on me, and I would lash out in other ways. So just how,
Okay.
Did I ever tell you this? Okay, so a really good example.
I don't know.
A really good physical
Please share
example.
with the class.
Okay. Here's this one time, and this actually happened, but it's also a metaphor.
Okay.
So follow along.
Okay.
We had broke into this house once. It was the 90s, so I can't get in trouble.
Statute of limitations is over.
Right.
Or is it
So stop me if you've heard this one. Again, probably in both the books. But I was having an episode, and I was running around this big, beautiful house on Long Island with marble pillars in the foyer and all the things. And I ran face first and bounced off of it and broke my tooth. Oh, no. Okay. I didn't.
No, I have not heard this story yet. And so I was shocked, like, oh,
yeah. So I bounced off of it, kept on running because the house was under construction. There was a catwalk.
Okay.
And I put my hands on the metal bar, put my head through this empty space and said, I broke my tooth on this, and there was nothing there. So that is how a lot of my 20s and 30s went, where I was hitting these marble pillars, metaphorically, even though I actually did it once upon a time.
And literally.
And then running away from that actual moment, that thing, and putting it somewhere else and saying, I did this over here, or this happened over here, or projecting things over here. So when I was in this really horrible relationship, now fast forward to my 40s, so I can give you a real life example.
Right.
Even though I really did that. There's so much more to that story. But anywho,
that for another show.
I was in a really bad abusive relationship, and nobody knew. Nobody knew until it got really to the end. I mean, I think people had their ideas, but
nobody wants to say anything.
Right. And I was just shrinking and shrinking and shrinking at the house. And I felt like a prisoner in my body, in my own home, everything. And then I would go to work, and I would just fucking run around like a chicken with her head cut off. Like I was literally just exploding at work, doing everything over here and everything over here and everything
because
over
that
here.
was where you could feel the control again.
So every time I shrank, for me, I would explode in another area.
Right.
And I would just have this chaotic Tasmanian devil mother. And I'm sure other people have been told this about their energy, but my mother always said, I'm a bull in a china shop. You've heard that expression before. And it was because I couldn't regulate. I couldn't balance because I was my physical body and my responses to these men and women who were trying to shrink me. You know, I'll never forget another experience where somebody admitted that they were trying to make me feel bad about myself out of jealousy. She literally said to me, it's because I think you're perfect that I fucking torture you.
I need to bring you down.
Yeah.
And so that I can compete with you. Like I need you to bring you to my level.
Yeah. All right. So you don't, in the heat of the moment, it was finally admitted when we're in this screaming match and there's mediators and then, the truth comes out. But for years leading up to that moment, you just energetically feel it. You feel it, but you don't know what's happening, and you feel like you're suffocating.
Yep.
Right. And so then you explode over here and you explode over here. But then you have to, when you figure out what's going on and you zoom out and you're able to observe your reality and observe your thoughts and observe your body, you can finally level out. And now I'm in this season of my life where things are coming in. Mm-hmm. My body is receiving it. I'm feeling those triggers, but I'm able now to step out and observe it and go, okay, right now is not the time to feel the emotions. Right now is just the time to observe the emotions. And it has changed my life.
Life-changing moment. This is where the emoji of ding.
Yeah. Yeah. So
just pretend. Everybody just use your creative like ding.
Yeah. So I have learned to give myself permission to, if I'm going to be the good girl in this container, I'm going to be the bad bitch in this container. And it causes...
I don't have a hat for that, but Oh, that's what we should have done.
Damn it.
Curses.
Bad bitch sometimes, good girl sometimes.
Yeah. And that would be great. Somebody needs to hook us up with some hats.
Yeah, do that. Okay.
Anyways.
So there was no balance. There was no, there was just containers of fucking chaos.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I have learned that it is okay to be both at all times.
Okay.
That I can have balance and stimulation and expression and poise and grace and chaos. I used to, once this started to shift for me, I was outwardly telling people, no, I've learned to embrace chaos. It feels good to me. But what I have since realized is what I mean is that expression feels good to me. Adventure feels good to me.
A different form of chaos. A healthier form of chaos.
Right. And it's okay.
Right.
That is okay. I don't have to,
run into a pillar.
Run into a marble fucking pillar and break your cheek. Which, by the way, it breaks like once every 10 years since then. So every now and then.
That's fun.
So it's amazing.
It's a great time.
Yeah. So, fuck a good girl. Don't say that out loud. Don't say that out loud. Yeah. Okay. So then my thing is, at some point, the weight of inauthenticity became heavier than the fear of being fully seen. And that was, again, one of those hidden truths. You have all of these outward expressions of truth and trauma and very obvious things that are happening. And what I love to tell people and what I love to talk about is there's layers. Once you kind of heal that first layer of trauma and the very
the big one.
The overt, oh, this happens to you. There's so many more subtle.
I feel like once you get that one out of the way, that's when you start to recognize the smaller, more subtle ones, right? Because now that has alleviated the brain space that it was taking up. And all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, there were so many more moments, that you were so distracted by this other one you didn't even see.
I didn't even see it. And as I study and I read for myself and I learn about my own labels from trauma, I don't stop at a label. So last summer, I think, what was I studying? What did I read? What did I learn? There was something masochistic, self-induced, self-chaos, self-masochistic, whatever the fuck. And it made total sense. And it was like, oh my God, that is what I'm doing with myself. That is my chaos. That is why, I'm hurting myself. You know, I'm going on a hunger strike and then starving. I'm like, fuck, this hurts. And everyone else is like, what are you doing, dum-dum? I don't know. So just over here. Yeah. It's just beating myself up. It's fine.
No big deal. It's fine.
But once I learned that, I was able to take control over it.
Right.
I was able to say, okay, this is where I'm applying that response. This is where I'm applying that response. This is where I'm applying that response. And I was able to step out of it then.
Right.
Not continue to identify as that response, that trauma response, but say, oh, this is the trauma response I'm currently functioning in. Mm-hmm. Let's fix that. And I did. And now I call Nicole and go, I feel like fucking fighting someone. I didn't get that call the other day. And I was like, okay, how much bail money are we going to need today? But I don't do it. No, I don't do it. Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
We acknowledge that. And then we're like, I don't really think that's a good idea.
It's not a good idea. But I have learned not only to observe the feeling, but how to be true to who I am also in those feelings. I have big feelings and I have big responses to my big feelings. And I give myself permission now. Oh my God, I haven't told you this story. This one's fun. So I was having a fight one night with the stove. It was being a dick. And I hate when that happens. I know. So I was yelling at the stove. And we were having a very heated argument. And by pun intended. And my husband walks by and he goes, can you just be quiet and stop yelling? And I looked at him and I go, no, I can't. This is between me and the stove and you can go outside. Wow. Where in every other relationship, I would have taken that comment. I would have gotten really quiet, festered up all these stories, all this resentment, all this, and we wouldn't have talked because I would then be shrinking myself. Then I would go to wherever and start beating other people up and having this response. And that moment where I told him, no, I wasn't going to stop fighting with the stove. I know, but it's true. Felt really good. And it did set a new foundation for my entire energy system. It rewired my brain in that little simple act of disrupting the scene and saying, no, I will not quiet. I am a loud Italian. Fucking deal with it.
I am going to yell at the stove.
I am going to yell at the stove.
Who won the argument? You or the stove?
The goddamn stove.
Hate that. Hate that for you.
I know. I can't win them all, but I definitely try. Which is good. It's fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
But that was a moment of me allowing myself to have the emotions. I'm not directing them and walk through them. And it was a safe space. And I gave myself permission to everyone around me to say, this is how I get.
This is what I'm choosing to do to deal with this incident.
Right.
Yes.
It doesn't mean the world is going to end. And that is okay.
Did the stove survive?
The stove.
Okay. So we didn't actually beat it up.
No, verbally we went to town.
Right.
But
physically
it's
still
stronger than me. It's fire.
It was fire. Okay. But you worked through it. How's your relationship?
We're good now. We're good. We have a working relationship.
She's like all
like that night. We did not have a working relationship that night. I had to step away after the argument. I had to give myself some time to reflect on my choices.
Oh dear.
So welcome to Quantum Poverty. Anyway, So this is how I really listen. That was a moment of me not being a good girl. That was a moment of me not fitting in the box. That was a moment of self-empowerment, even though it was so small, even though it was just the fucking stove.
Well, it was all of the things, right? It was somebody trying to stop you and shrink you, not intentionally.
Right. He didn't know.
Just, hey, this is when you're fighting with an appliance. Right?
And I wasn't mean to him.
Right.
I just said, no, this is what I'm going to do.
Right.
You can exit.
There's the door.
Right. You don't have to stay and witness this chaos.
Right.
But it's going to keep going.
This is happening.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Well, I honestly can say that I have not fought with any of my appliances this week. So I've got that going for me. And I love that you learned to sit with it, right?
Yeah.
And recognize it, first of all. So a lot of the things that we've been discussing, there's a common theme, right? It's all about doing the work, the self-work, the self-awareness, and like understanding yourself more. And from what you're saying and what I've experienced is I can sit down and reflect upon something, psychoanalyze myself, whatever, on a regular basis. And every time I do it, I learn something new about myself.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really cool. Like there's the like aha moments, and then there's the like, oh shit. Maybe what did we learn from this lesson? Maybe I should have approached that a little bit differently. But it's truly understanding everything about you, and all of those things have created the version of you right now.
Yeah.
Without sounding extra cheesy and lame. If all of those things hadn't happened, you wouldn't be the you right now.
No, absolutely.
It's very Dr. Seussy of me.
But
it's true.
It's true.
It's true. And so, when we talk about people having regrets and like, oh, I wish I could change this and I wish I can change this, all the good, the bad, the ugly, everything, it all happened for a reason.
Absolutely.
And so like the moment you accept that and say, okay, like this has built the version of me that is super badass.
Yeah.
It lifts a weight off her shoulders. Like I can't even, it just gave me chills actually.
Yeah.
Like it really is true. So anyways, there's my philosophical rant for you.
No, but I love it because there has been so many fucked up things that I have done. Forget about what's been done to me that I have done that I apologize for, but don't regret.
So
like,
sorry.
sorry you had to be in on that joke, or, sorry you were on that path with me, but I cannot see any other way I would have gotten here.
Correct.
Every single thing that happened led me to where I am right now. And where I am right now is fucking amazing.
Yep.
And I tell people all the time, you can actually change everything in your life. Everything. And I will never not believe that because I fully did that in my life.
Correct. It's all, and I know I say it a lot, it's all reframing, right?
Yeah.
Like every experience, bad, horrible, like scary, whatever they are, it's reframing that memory into like acknowledge the scary or, you know, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Whatever feeling is attached to it, acknowledge that like it is real, but then reframe going forward, you know, because you can't change it.
You can't.
Unless you're like an evil time traveling magician. I don't know why they had to be evil, but I just threw that in there. That's irrelevant. But, you know, going back and like changing like anything that happened, you can't do that. It happened. It's there. It is a piece of you. You know, working through those things and like changing your perspective.
Yeah, that's what I was just
will allow you to, I don't know, move forward easier.
Changing your perspective actually makes you feel energetically and emotionally like you have changed the past. It totally rewires not just your brain, but your entire nervous system. It rewires everything. And as I was driving here today, because I'm in the middle of this emotional transition that is different than any other emotional transition I've been through. But as I was driving here today, I was like, this is the greatest thing in the world that I can sit and observe what I'm going through and not have an emotional response and not have the need to what is that? The anxious attachment that I had for so many years. It was, oh my God, no, I'm just like, okay, this is a feeling. Right. And then I was grateful for being able to change that entire system response and body. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I will say that I did have similar-ish like upbringing. We went into that in a different episode, so we're not going to rehash all of that, where I did have to shrink myself based on other people's expectations.
Yeah.
And then always felt that I had to kind of diminish any of my accomplishments to not, and this was other people's projections, keep in mind, because they would project the disappointment in themselves.
Yeah.
And again, I did a lot of work on myself to psychoanalyze this. It was their feel of failure for themselves, right? That they were projecting onto me. And initially I didn't recognize that. I thought it was a me thing, and it wasn't a me thing. It was a them thing. That, you know, I was doing all of these big things and I wasn't letting anything get in my way, right? I just kept going and going and building things that were so far out of people that I grew up with and family members, like so far out of their realm of want that it didn't make sense to them. But then there was this like underhanded jealousy factor that, you know, they would crush my accomplishments down like, oh, you know, whatever, and make me feel like shit. And so I personally got to a point where I was like, okay, this isn't serving me anymore. This is very hurtful. And I want to be able to celebrate these accomplishments. These are badass things, right? Like I did that.
Yeah.
I feel like I did that, you know? So I got myself to a point where like, okay, now I need to build these boundaries to protect myself. And it's not out of hate or anything like that. It's because I choose me first.
Yeah.
Like I do choose me first, because without me, then none of that exists. And then I'm a piece of shit for my kids. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So in that, you know, not shrinking myself down, I don't share any of those details. They may find out on social media or through whomever, but they're not getting that information directly from me, because in my mind, like what you projected onto me, you don't deserve, like, I don't owe you anything. I don't care. I don't care what your thoughts are. I don't care if you, because you haven't shown me any sort of like respect in that, right?
Yeah.
To build me up. So you just want to crush me down. So I'm just going to walk away, right? And that's, in my personal life, that's what I've chose to do. So there's that.
So in those relationship dynamics, have you made the conscious connection that because some of those relationships you can't fully walk away from, right? So we have, because it's family or the dad or whatever, there's reasons why we can't fully just pretend they're no longer in our lives, even if they're not family. You know, maybe it's just the processing and what we have to do. But do you find that now that you don't allow them in, the energy cord to them is cut off? So you're no longer absorbing their pain, because that's essentially what we were doing, is absorbing their pain, their fear, their whatever, and making it our own.
Yep.
In whatever trauma dynamic, in whatever stage of life. Have you found that since you've done that, you are now able to create cords of connection to people that celebrate you?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, definitely. So that has been, so when I made those, or kind of, I don't want to say made those boundaries, but understood that those were necessary in order for me to move forward. Because what it was doing is it was stopping me. It was paralyzing me. It was creating so much doubt that regardless of what I was doing, I would freeze. Right. And so once I understood, this is what I need to do to be able to move forward and keep going and accomplishing things that are important to me and building myself up. Then what happened is as I go and I meet people, so similar to you, it was really hard to start with female friendships, right? It was really hard for me to let people in. I had these walls that were a million miles high, and you got surface level, Nicole, right? You didn't get the deep version at all. And I had to get myself to a point where I was okay with that, but it's almost like you had to pass a boundary test that it's not like an interview. It's not like I have a list of questions oh yeah, so you scored a,
but you still have to meet the criteria.
But
it's an energy test.
It is an energy test. It's, us sitting there having a connection of some sort. It's not psychological. It's a feeling, right? I'm diving into her world. But, and it's a mutual thing. It's not a one-sided friendship, you know what I mean? Where you're sharing all your stuff and I'm going to just stay closed off, right? If I start to feel that safety, okay, I can let this person in. And then if I share the things and you're celebrating me, if you're my hype bitch as much as I am yours, you know what I mean? That to me is gold. Yeah. If I notice that it is a one-sided friendship or a relationship, I'm going to stay closed off because I'm not going to put in all the work to our friendship. I need you to meet me in the middle,
Right. I need to have an exchange of energy in order to sustain me. I'm having a hard time with my mouth today.
That's great. Anyway.
I'm so sorry.
But yeah, so I mean that's the personal side of this for me. So I just wanted to sprinkle that in there.
No, I love that. And I think that there's so much in this dynamic. There's so much in this topic of shrinking yourself, of trying to play a role of the good girl. It does, it hits every connection we have in this, every experience that we have, every dynamic. There is a piece of it where you need to balance out that performative you.
So getting away from my personal life and everybody's personal lives here.
Okay. Reeling it back in. Whew. Okay.
I'm done sharing that. Thanks for hanging out with that one. Anyway, so when we look at this in a business sense, the good girl dynamic, that's the good one. This is kind of my favorite thing.
Yeah.
And this is going to be, what I'm about to say is either going to set people off or build understanding, or maybe a little bit of both, but
we'll just see how
I'm pretty sure I might piss off a couple people.
Which is fine.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay.
See, I was trying to shrink myself down. Did you catch that?
Oh. I noticed I said it's fine. Don't you just keep going.
Right.
You just be you. You just be you.
Just be me. See, she was my hype bitch in real time.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we look at the good girl contract in a business setting, so the way that this looks is when we've talked about this before, when we have a collective group of professionals, right? What you will typically see, not all the time, but majority of the time, is that the men in the room will do the majority of the talking, the big ideas and things like that. And regardless if there's a woman in that room at the same level, if we're looking at the org chart, same level, her ideas will get diminished. Her voice gets diminished. She's told to kind of shrink and be agreeable to everybody else's ideas, because regardless of how much we want to say that we're all equal in a business setting, we all know that that's slightly bullshit. Right? We're getting better, but we're still not there. And the majority of senior leaders in most companies, it's going to be majority men. So there may be 6 men in a room and there may be 1 or 2 women in that room. Right. And so you just kind of learn to kind of blend in and go with the flow, because you create less chaos. You don't make waves in the company. Right. And even if when we're talking about promotions and things like that, it gets taken into consideration different aspects of women that are sort of out of our control. You know what I mean? When we're talking about women that may have a family, that's taken into consideration, because typically the woman is the one that is going to take care of the house and the kids and all of the things, right? And so, like, what does her schedule look like? Is that going to conflict with our business need, right? And so you can't say that out loud legally, because it's definitely illegal, but those are thoughts, like natural human thoughts that people have and are taken into consideration for those promotions or those new hires and things like that. And it sucks. And we as women know that, right? And so you may be the most qualified person that is applying for the job or the promotion or whatever, but that factors in.
So I have a question for you, because I hear what you're saying, and I absolutely know it is a reality for most people, most women out there. But now I have a thoughtful question for you, because when I was first in college in the late 90s, Hofstra University, and I've shared this piece before, but I'm making a connection now, because as you're talking, I'm realizing I never had that experience. I never had the experience.
Which is awesome.
But wait, if you
maybe not awesome.
I'm going to explain why I think I never had that experience, and then I want your feedback on that. So again, in college, I had this one woman professor who was very hardcore on the glass ceiling. And every class, she talked about women's rights and glass ceiling and blah, 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 blah. So much so, I wanted to rebel against her. Like, you're pissing me off. You're annoying, right? And I remember one time in class, I literally said out loud and then left class, I said, there's only a glass fucking ceiling if you believe there is. Just live your life. Now, I had, and this is probably that bull in the china shop thing, right? So being quiet at home and being stifled at home led me to all these outbursts and having a very strong personality elsewhere. And so I had that frequency. I had that belief system. I had that vibration. When I got my first real job, career job in Manhattan, I worked for Elektra Records, which no longer exists. I don't even remember. Time Warner, I don't know. Warner Brothers, I don't know. Doesn't matter. But the CEO was a Black woman. And this was in 2002. And all of the PR women, people in the building that I worked for, were all women. It was really uncomfortable, as a matter of fact, but it doesn't matter. But everybody was women, and the CEO was a woman. And I think her name was Sylvia Brown, but not the psychic Sylvia Brown. And it could have just been Sylvia something. Anyway, I totally remember her face, and I remember she was on the cover of a magazine. Then my next real job was education. And that is a very woman, female dominated. The principals were women. The superintendent was women. So I'm curious on your perspective, because I had that thought process already as a kid. Do you think, because I do, so I'm telling you that I believe I created that experience, that reality based on a very deep, hardcore belief that I wasn't going to be kept or held down by a man in business. So then every business opportunity I got was with other women. Go ahead.
I feel like you did subconsciously choose, which is awesome, choose companies that were more populated with women versus men to kind of solidify your thoughts.
Yeah.
And that's why I said typically, right? Like it's not across the board. It's not every single company and things like that. And, you know, we are getting better at kind of like equalizing that population a little bit more. But you do have the companies that are, you know, the CEO is a woman, and the majority of the people there are women, right? And in the teaching, in education, yes, you're right. That is mostly women because, again, if you look at the scheduling and the dynamic and the function of that job, right? The function of that job is, you know, you're educating children.
Yeah.
From a personality perspective, women are more empathetic.
Right.
We're more nurturing. We kind of have to be, you know, like sort of.
Yeah.
And that's not squishing us down. That's just like a part of who we are, right? And so it is an easier kind of transition for those kids because if you look, they're leaving their parents for the first time to go
into another nurturing environment.
Right. Yeah. And so for the most children, the mom aspect, right? And how many times have kids accidentally called you mom instead of...
Oh my God, so many.
Right.
I'd prefer them to call me that.
Right.
Then.
Like their brain just like, yes, this is my school mom, you know? So yes, I do feel like, back to your question, I feel like because that was your reaction, your internal reaction, that maybe you did seek that out. Like maybe that was your bat signal. Like, okay, I'm going to find a position that proves that I was right. That I'm going to show her she was wrong, which isn't a bad thing. I'm glad you had that experience.
Right.
Honestly.
And that's why I was bringing it up, because to me, it is the power of perception.
Yes.
It is the subconsciously or conscious. You have to have it consciously and then get it into your subconscious and then get it into your unconscious. And that is how you actually change that bat signal. That is how you actually change your world and your reality, so you don't have those experiences. But I'm only bringing it up now is because I was making the connection as you were talking about it. I was realizing, oh shit, that is a demonstration of a moment where my belief system outrode typical society.
Correct.
So it's that strong, and we can all do it. Whatever.
And if you know, like when you relate it to that, like, now that you say that, like I probably bat signaled myself into having to prove something.
Yeah.
Because of, you know, what was instilled in me, right? And my feelings behind it that we discussed before.
Yeah.
You know, and all of a sudden I was like, I have to be like, I'm going to show you.
Yeah.
I can, you know what I mean? Like I can hang at the table with all you fools and like stand my ground. And so maybe that was the signal I gave off. Yeah. So my experience was different, and every industry, every company I went into was, it was majority men, and I had to fight at every table.
Yeah.
You know, whether it pissed me off or not, there I was, like
smashing glass tables,
ready to throw down with a stove. But you know, like that was mine, right? So yeah, maybe I intentionally put myself into those positions to prove to myself, like, hey, I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to change this.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. There's a whole epiphany.
Well, I know, right? It's fucking fantastic.
I gotta tell you a funny. So I'm not going to name names, but this was the most. So how you said that people were very blunt in squishing you down.
Oh my God.
The one professional one that sticks out to me so much. This is just going to blow your mind. So I was working for a company. I'm not even going to say it. It'd be blatantly obvious for anybody that I worked with. So I was working for this company that was majority men. And I was in an industry that I had never worked in before. I was their director of HR. Okay. And at the time, I was in the process of completing my PhD. I was almost done. I was at the tail end of it. Like all I had left, I was done with my classes. I was done with residency, all of that stuff. Right. Yeah. And so my only focus was to conduct my study, write my dissertation, blah, 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 be done. Okay. And I remember there was one man that was on this C-suite for this company. And he definitely had just this massive ego. Okay. Very short, tiny man with a Napoleon complex, but that's for real. But anyways, you know, and he had multiple degrees. We actually had like matching levels of degrees. So from a paper perspective, right, we were even Steven. Okay. And this PhD would on paper, and that was a big deal to him, right? Like it was a huge kick to the ego that somebody else would surpass him with a piece of paper. That wasn't my driver in getting that degree. That was like an internal accomplishment that I wanted. I don't give a shit about the piece of paper. Okay. But it drove him crazy. Absolutely drove him crazy. And he would bring it up on a regular basis that like he would try and squish me down and squish me down and squish me down and get in my head that I wasn't going to be able to finish this and that I was going to fail. And I was listening. Yeah. And I was absorbing that. And I would get in my head and I was like, wait, what are you doing? This guy doesn't even matter. Like, who gives a shit, right? And the craziest thing he ever said to me was, even if you finish this, geez, I will never refer to you as doctor. Ew. And I looked at him and I was like, excuse me. And he goes, there is no way in hell those words will ever come out of my mouth. I will never address you as doctor. And I was like, why? And he goes, because as a man, I can't. And I was like, oh shit.
That is so incredible to me.
End quote.
Right.
Like, in that, I was like, you know what? For that reason right there, like, watch this shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? And kind of passive aggressive. But the moment that I walked across that stage and they announced me, I sent him the video.
Oh my God.
I sent him the video.
I love that. And do you see now, though, looking back at that interaction, how he was actually demonstrating how small he felt?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But in the moment.
And projecting it out.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But in that moment, I mean, yeah, of course, I could recognize that, right? Because it was so absurd to say, for someone to say out loud. It was just utter shock. Yeah. That, like, wow, do you hear yourself? You know what I mean? So that was my like actual business interaction that happened that really stuck with me. And so because of that, I will admit that for a while after I accomplished that, it was really hard for me to even share with people. Yeah. That I did have a PhD. Like I squished myself down because in my mind, everybody felt that way of like, oh, whatever. And so I didn't share it with a lot of people. People would know me for 6 months, a year and have zero clue. Yeah. And then they would find out and be like, wait, what? How come you never told me? Well, it's not a big deal. It is a big deal. Right. It is a big deal.
But you were never given permission to celebrate it.
Right.
And so you had to learn how to give yourself permission to celebrate it.
So even though I knew it was crazy that this man said that to me, it changed how I
reacted and responded.
And presented myself to people. So
it's so crazy. It's so crazy how we all stuff our feelings because we don't know how to process our feelings. And no matter what, whether you're me or you and on the receiving end or you're on the projecting end, the truth, even in your own emotions, is going to come out. Mm-hmm. It's going to come out in some other aspect, in some other way. We can't hide from ourselves at all, ever. You know, they say the truth will always come out. And that saying, I believe, is specifically about situations and circumstances and people lying to each other, but it also comes out when you're lying to yourself.
Correct.
It comes just out in all these toxic ways. So if you can admit, like I said to her the other day, okay, hold on, I got to censor it. I basically said to her, if her and this other person do this other thing, that I was going to be jealous and excited all at the same time. And those are my true feelings. Like I literally like, yes, I'm going to be jealous, but also at the same time, I'm going to be like, can you send me pictures? Wait a second. That wasn't enough censoring. But anyway, the point is, when I was younger, I would have had those feelings, but I would have held on to them and the resentment would have built. And then I would have been like, fuck those two for having fun without me. Like, whatever. It's just so stupid.
Right.
But even in that little, because I have such big feelings, like a little kid, there's so many big feelings. I have to express them and I have to be real about them. And I have to actually say like that I'm going to be so jealous. But also so excited. Like it really is. Like I think about it.
I love that you're trying to manifest this. Okay, we got to change topic.
Because I want it to happen, but like I also don't. I'm so stupid. Okay.
We're going to even stay on that one. Okay. So, here's the lesson that I learned from all of the shenanigans.
Okay.
I finally got to throw shenanigans in here. Is that through all of the things, through my personal life and business life, all of the times that I'm trying to be the good girl and like shrink myself down, what I was doing is I was putting myself last.
Yeah.
I was squishing myself down, making myself small to protect your feelings and your thoughts.
Fuck that.
Wait, what? Like, you're not protecting mine. Why am I? You know what I mean? Like that doesn't make sense. And so unapologetically, I'm just me. And you know what? It's totally fine if you don't like me. It's totally fine if you love me. Don't love me aggressively. But but you know what I mean? Like your opinion is your opinion and you're entitled to that.
Right.
So I'm not for everyone.
No. But why would you want to be? Because not everyone is for you.
Yes. So not everyone gets access to me.
Yeah.
Not everybody gets my attention like that. That's perfectly okay.
And we do not have to shrink ourselves and we do not have to obey and we do not have to fucking whatever. Just the fuck. We can make up our own rules. Okay. That's what I'm saying.
Yes. Make my own rules. Anyways. Sorry, I digress again.
This one says I was supposed to listen to you. I hope I did a good job.
Did she listen? I think she listened. I think we're good. So, of course, my favorite quote.
Okay.
A lot of women were taught how to be acceptable long before they were taught how to be honest.
I love how that just full circled, right?
Yeah.
When authenticity feels risky, women learn to manage themselves for other people. True that. I'm so sorry.
You're not sorry.
You do not have to become hard to stop being compliant.
Yes.
Okay. It's in gray, people. Okay. You can't see it. I know what my glasses are here. Listen, this is what I want you guys to do. Okay. You are going to notice these are her hands where you're saying, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. What's the,
oh, fuck.
I know, right? We all know what it is. Fine. Something insecure. Anyway, fucking look it up.
Somebody Google that and drop it in the comments.
Where are you saying that? Where are you dismissing yourself? Name the reaction that you're trying to prevent or manage. So like currently right now, the reaction I'm trying to prevent or manage is fleeing.
She's not fleeing.
I'm not. But every morning I wake up and I go, you know what? We're just going to stop doing this. But I don't. Okay. So that's what I'm trying to manage. What are you trying to manage?
That was a little aggressive.
I'm so sorry. Listen, is kindness guiding me or is fear of disapproval guiding me? You know what? Ask yourself that.
That's a great question.
Fear of disapproval. Think about that one. And then what would the honest, appropriate version of my response sound like? Now, let me give you something for that one, because you don't always know right away. Okay. Like sometimes it comes up and you stuff it aside, and you can catch it. But then sometimes you genuinely don't know, and that's okay. That's when you give yourself space and you give yourself time and you just allow it to be, because it will show up. The conversation we had on the last episode, which was yesterday.
But not really yesterday. It was like a week in your guys' time frame. I'm just like going on a trip in my favorite rocket ship. So
I literally said to her, I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want in these friendships. And that's okay. Like yes. I don't. But I'm going to give myself space and time to figure that out. Hold on. It's great again. Yeah. Where do I feel my energy or body shrinking before I even say yes, stay quiet, or make myself smaller? Ask yourself that. I'm going to repeat it. Where do I feel my energy or body shrinking before I even say yes, stay quiet, or make myself smaller? For me, it is like someone put a straitjacket on me. I feel it. Like you feel squished? Just squished. Yeah. What part of me have I been editing to remain easy to love, lead, work with, or have approval of? Ask yourself that.
That's a good, really good reflection question. I like
that.
What are you editing?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I like that a lot. All right. Anyways,
I know.
I feel like this is a good stopping spot for today.
We have so much.
No, we don't. That's just disregard.
Okay. There's more gray words.
I know. Just hold on a second. Hold your shorts, toots. Okay. So here's our lesson.
Okay.
Here's our insightful lesson for today. Being kind is not the same as being compliant, and emotional intelligence does not make you responsible for everyone else's comfort.
Boom. I know that.
Do you know? Anyways, I was gonna high five her. Shit.
Okay, this is a good one.
This was a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, so on that note,
can you read that again?
Are you sure? Are you ready to absorb?
I need to.
Let me adjust my hat.
Yeah.
Being kind is not the same as being compliant, and emotional intelligence does not make you responsible for everyone else's comfort.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a fucking good lesson.
It is a good lesson.
And when you get over that hill, man, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right, now you can mic drop. I don't want high five.
Okay, mic drop.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.